Alright, it's LWX. I'm here with a video, but today it's a nice little sports topic. And the sports topic is the Jrue Holiday trade. Now, there's two trades that I haven't talked about yet. One is the Bucks for Dame, and which was included with Jrue, but I ain't talking about that one just yet. But I am here to talk about the Jrue Holiday trade to the Celtics, and I'm gonna break that down of what was there. What they traded for Jrue Holiday was Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, a first-round pick of theirs unprotected, and a Golden State. Well, their pick was 2029, and Golden State's first-round pick for next year, upcoming draft. And I'm looking at it, I was like, this was a bad trade for the Celtics. And whoever is the trade person for the Portland Trail Blazers, D1 scammers. They know how to bargain. D1 scammers. I don't know how you got all that for a 33-year-old point guard. I understand he might be good, but his value has to drop. I understand he won a championship about 2 years ago with Giannis. And yes, he do shut down point guards from the perimeter and limit them. He's still 33. And Malcolm Brogdon, yeah, you're a vet. Then you got Robert Williams, yeah, he's injury prone, but he's still one of your good young centers. And he would have been a good pair with Kristaps Porzingis in the front court? Yeah, the front court. You're gonna find the front court. But when I'm seeing it from, when I look at the videos and things of breaking down this trade, I look at it as like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't that bad of a trade. But also the Celtics, as to me, has been trading really bad this past season, also this year. They got rid of one of the, well, now I look at it, they kind of replaced Marcus Smart a little bit, but not really. Yeah, he's like, what, 20? He's going on 29 so far. He's going on 29. And you replace his role with a 33-year-old, not Malcolm, 33-year-old Jrue Holiday. But with that, I look at it where you can actually, they are actually some type of contenders with this. When I look at it, I'm like, they can actually beat the Bucks, not the Bucks. The Bucks. They actually can compete against the Bucks. They can actually compete against, who else makes the playoffs? They actually can compete against the Sixers, even though they're terrible in the playoffs. They can compete against the Heat. They can compete against really anybody in the East. To me, if you ask me, the East is very weak compared to the West. The East doesn't really have anybody as strong. It's always the same teams coming to the playoffs in the East. In the West, it's a little mix, but not really. But Celtics. Now, when I look at it on paper, I see Jrue, Brown, Tatum, whoever their power forward is, and Kristaps. I say, you know what? That's a pretty good lineup. Now, I don't know how the season of Boston Celtics will look, and with Jrue Holiday on that court, but what I see, me personally, is that they just really relying still on Tatum and Brown, because their defense to me is very lackluster, not that good. Then you have Jrue Holiday come in to guard their main point guard, which is also difficult. But what I have heard is what they're going to do is put Tatum at power, put Brown at the small, then put Derek White at the shooting guard, and Jrue Holiday at the PG. And me, I look at that lineup and I say it's contendable. It's definitely, to me, if you ask me, I see championship. Not later, definitely later, but not this year. Well, if they face the Nuggets, maybe. It's looking real slim, but if it's like the Warriors. Also, I need to talk about the Nuggets. Even though I haven't done anything this year. Well, they won the championship. They done something this year, but I haven't done anything in all season, really. But with that, Portland, they look really good. They got a very young core in the making, really, with Scoot Henderson coming to them, and Simmons, Sharp. They got DeAndre Ayton on the center, and with DeAndre Ayton, I have not heard very good things about him on the Suns. With the Suns getting rid of DeAndre Ayton, I don't really have hope for the Suns this season. They really just trying to win now, worry about the future later. I don't really like that, only because why would you get rid of young core? They got rid of they got rid of Bridges. They got rid of Kel Oubre. Kel Oubre really wasn't that good. And they got rid of Cameron Johnson. They got rid of a ton of their young core. The only one that hits is Devin Booker, is the one that I seen. But even Devin Booker, he's good, but I don't trust him as much as I think I do. It's just something about him with the ball in his hands, and him it's just something about him I don't trust. It's if he gets too cocky, he plays bad. And if he plays like ass, he's just terrible as well. It's just I don't like Devin Booker. I don't like trusting Devin Booker. Also, when I look at the Suns lineup, that Suns lineup is terrible. I don't like it. Yeah, you said, but they got KD, they got Bradley Beal, they got Devin Booker. That's a solid squad. No, I don't like it. Only because KD, he's selfish. He is Kyrie, but nobody want to admit it. Y'all want to say, but he was second to Curry. Curry was second. I will strongly believe Curry was second to KD. As you look at that squad, he was mostly off ball. He is a off ball guard. He is perfect off the off ball. So you can let KD run it up the court, let him run whatever he wants. Like not last year, when they lost to the Bucks, Game 7. Did you see him come to clutch? No. Well, I'll give him that fourth quarter good. But the best fourth quarter I've seen from him ever. But when it hit OT, Buddy was terrible. Buddy shot very low. I think what he shot was he barely came up in overtime. So really, when it's OT, you really can't trust bro in the OT. Bradley Beal, Buddy is a scammer. Buddy played in Washington, where he could get a free bag because nobody really watched Washington games. So that was a free bag. He looks good. If you go in the comments, tell me right now, Bradley Beal is a good player. I'm about to look at his highlights, but I think everybody look at him at face value because you look at the stats. Because nobody watches Washington. You can say when they had Westbrook, I was watching every game. No, he was not. He watched probably 5 games maximum. You know what? And he was like, this team still sucks. They still terrible. Because you know what? He wasn't going to sit and watch Washington Wizards games. When they had John Wall, I give him it because I actually liked the John Wall. He was pretty good before he fucked up his knee, but he was good. He was solid. He was a solid player. But Jrue, with that, I don't trust that squad. You got a young, dumb one. You got a scammer out of Bradley Beal and KD. I don't know what KD gonna do. You got scores, but I'm going to assume defense is the very lackluster of them all. Also, when you sub them out, what's the bench? They didn't fix the bench. I don't know who's on the bench. They need to fix their bench problem. Their bench problem is very terrible. But with the but that's just me on the Suns. But with the Trailblazers, they have a bright future ahead of them. I feel like they probably still, to me, they probably need a guard. Nah, they don't need a guard. They just got scoop. But the Trailblazers, they got a good package for it. I don't know really who's in this next upcoming draft. I don't really watch college basketball like that, but if you could tell me in the comments of who's coming up in the draft and gonna come into the NBA draft, I would greatly appreciate it. But this is just my ramble on the trades with the Trailblazers and Celtics, and a little bit of a Suns thing here. But greatly appreciate it that you watch this video. It's up to you if you want to like and subscribe. If you thank you, and like and subscribe.